Okay, so good day everyone. This is GEC108, our Science, Technology, and Society. So this is our first lesson. So I decided to make this kasi I am not really sure if you are really fond of reading. So at least dito, um, you can focus on just listening. Walang video kasi hindi maganda yung cam ng aking laptop sa screen. Okay, so this is scientific and technological revolution that defines society. So in this lesson, we are talking about how people then had their science, na paano yun nagsimula. So, yung ating mga Greeks ang considered as our intellectual forefathers. So, noon pa man, meron na silang philosophy, aesthetics, and geometry, even drama. So, ibig sabihin, matagal na pala yung mga drama at geometry. Hindi pa tayo pinapanganak, meron na yan. This one is Thales. So, considered to be the first scientist, si Thales, 6th century BC. So, bakit siya considered na first scientist? Because he made observations or predictions about nature such as weather, geography, and astronomy. So, noon, malaking contribution yung kanyang nagawa. Ito naman si Plato. Si Plato nag-propose ng grand theory of cosmology. So, ayon sa kanya, he claimed heavenly bodies moved uniformly in circles because of geometric perfection. Perfection daw, sabi niya. Uniformly in circles, yung mga planets, yung mga ganun. But of course, today, we do not, we know that this is not true. So, he believed observations was confused and impure, that truth was found through contemplation. Now, I repeat, ayon sa kay Plato, truth was found through contemplation. Kung mag-contemplate ka lang, malalaman mo na yung katotohanan. But of course, today, that is not true because we find truth through evidences, not through observations. Aristotle. So, Aristotle proposed a coherent and common-sense vision of the natural world that stood for 2,000 years. So, he actually studied and wrote on cosmology, physics, biology, logic, anatomy. So, he actually tutored Alexander the Great. So, Greek natural philosophy is sometimes called pre-scientific since it relied on contemplation or observation, but not experimentation. So, although sabi natin kanina na si Thales, yung considered as the first scientist, yung Greek time noon, hindi talaga siya matuturing ng science. Hindi siya scientific talaga. Ito yung panahon bago nagsimula yung totoong science. The Romans. Roman civilization was built upon the tradition of Greek natural philosophy. So, usually engineering yung yung time ng mga Romans. Saka syempre religion. Galen. So, meron na rin silang medicine noon. So, Galen studied human anatomy and physiology. But, of course, imagine how limited yung kanilang knowledge noon. So, imagine living noon. Tapos nagkasakit ka, anong gagawin sa'yo? The medieval view. Ano ba yung medieval view? Ayon sa medieval view, the earth was immovable. Ito yung paniniwala noon. Medieval view. So, kapag narinig nyo yung medieval view, ito yung mga tao noon naniniwala that the earth was not moving. That the earth was the center of the universe. Everything revolved around the earth. So, syempre, wala naman silang masyadong kagamitan noon ng equipment. So, this view actually is known as geocentric theory. So, this was supported by, itong geocentric theory was supported by Aristotle, Ptolemy, and Christianity. So, sino ba itong si Ptolemy? So, Ptolemy thought that the earth was the center of the universe. So, yung nagturo nun. People felt this was common sense. So, sabi ng mga tao, syempre, mali ba nila nun? So, sa kanila naman siguro, parang naniwala na lang sila, parang automatic. No? So, the church also supported Ptolemy's idea. So, ito yung kanyang, so makikita natin dito, this is the earth, tapos ito yung moon. Alam nila na may ibang planets. No? So, meron ding sun. So, even the sun, no, sa paniniwala nila noon, yung sun ang nag-revolve sa earth. But of course, today, we do not believe this one. We reject this idea. Kasi meron na tayong mas maraming evidences. Mas malawak na yung ating kaalaman. The fall of Rome led to discontinuity in Western civilization. Bakit ba nag-fall ang Rome? So in Western Europe, population dropped, literacy virtually disappeared, and Greek knowledge was lost. So, ayun. So, I am not really familiar with the history of the fall of Rome, but I believe ito yung mga times na may mga corruption, leadership, religion, of course. So, assignment yun na lang yun. Because this is not history class. So, yeah. You read about that. But, generally, nung na-fall ang Rome kasi, maraming knowledge ang nawala. So, the only repositories of knowledge were monasteries and medieval universities, which started forming in the 12th century. So, yung monasteries na lang at saka yung medieval universities. So, pag sinabing medieval university, ito yung mga naniniwala doon sa medieval days, no, that the earth was not moving, that the earth was the center of the universe. So, this was considered to be the dark ages of knowledge, of science. So, medieval Islam became the principal heir to Greek science in the 7th to 14th centuries. The Islamic Empire covered parts of Europe, Northern Africa, the Middle East, and Western Asia. So, naiwan yung medieval Islam. Medieval pa rin sila. But there were technologies then na na-invent na nila. So, konting chemistry, merong mga arts, merong mga library. They also observed actually astronomy, irrigation, hydraulic engineering, mga ganun. So basically, meron pa namang naiwan. So naging basihan actually after the fall of Rome. Yung medieval Islam parang naging nila, source of knowledge. Actually, one of the Arab scholars, Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi, considered to be, I think, the father of geometry. Algebra pala, sorry. The father of algebra. The Renaissance was instigated by the rediscovery of Greek science. Greek and Latin texts were retrieved from monasteries and Islamic libraries. So, sabi natin kanina, nung nag-fall ang Rome, nawala yung mga knowledge nila. No? The only repositories was the monasteries and medieval universities. So, na-recover pa rin naman nila. There were some na na-recover nila. Leonardo da Vinci. So, are you familiar with Leonardo da Vinci, I think? So, he was an artist, an astronomer, a geometer, and an engineer. Yung mga tao sa to. Artist na, astronomer pa, engineer pa. Sana. Gutenberg's printing press made the broad dissemination of knowledge possible. So, meron ng printing press. No? Scientific revolution. No? So, the scientific revolution happened from 16th to 17th century. So, this was brought about by a period of intellectual upheaval in Europe. Okay, so pag sinabi natin scientific revolution, revolution ibig sabihin change, no? Malaking pagbabago, revolution. Sino ba itong, what made the revolution or the scientific revolution. So there were factors actually. There were reasons paano yung nagsimula. Meron tayong the Protestant Reformation. Well, these are Martin Luther and some other people were intellectuals na against sa ruling noon. Sa church, sa corruption. The other reason why it happened is the New World exploration. So, syempre, si Columbus noon from Spain was allowed to explore ng daan papunta sa Asia. So, when he explored, may mga natuklasan silang mga lupa. So, this was a big discovery for them. So, they considered it a new world, yung mga lupain na nahanap nila at that time. Spanish Inquisition. So, this is also one of the reasons kung bakit mayroong scientific revolution. So, ano ba yan? So, this was the corruption sa simbahan, maling pamamalakad, maraming factors. So, those cultural environment allowed for questioning religious and scientific dogma. So, unti-unti nang nagigising yung mga tao. Of course, syempre may mga supporters, but yung mga intellectuals, sila yung nagsisimulang parang mag-rebelde. Kinu-question na nila. So, the universe was viewed as a complex machine that could be understood through careful observation and experimentation. So, ito na yun sa scientific revolution. Magkaiba doon sa medieval science, medieval era. Kasi sa medieval era, ang sabi kasi doon the truth, that knowledge can be acquired through contemplation. So, sa scientific revolution, hindi na. Knowledge can be acquired through observation and experimentation. So, this is a new way of thinking, known as scientific revolution. So, ano ba yung mga pangyayari noon? So, people began to make conclusions based on experimentation and observation instead of merely accepting traditional ideas. So, si Nicholas Copernicus, siya actually ang nag-propose ng theory na heliocentric. Ibig sabihin, Copernicus model of the solar system. So, kumbaga, kinontra niya yung kay Ptolemy. So, ito yung order. Sun, and then the Moon, the Mercury, then the Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. So, Copernicus, unlike doon kila Ptolemy and Aristotle, alam ni Copernicus that the sun was the center of the universe. Of course, yung kaniyang dito, hindi naman ito tama, but at least may nabago, which is tama. But we now know that we do not know what moon. I do not know what moon is he referring about this. No moon ba yan kung ano. So, ito, yung order. But Copernicus believed that the Earth was moving. It is not the center of the universe. So, notice the sun is first, not the Earth, as Ptolemy believed. So, meron siyang mga mathematical formulas para maka-arrive doon sa conclusion na yun. Imagine. Mathematical formulas, sa una lang. Kita mangganing di mata makasolve mga equation there. Okay, so the Copernican conception of the universe marked the start of the modern science and astronomy. So, imagine. So, yan. Copernican heliocentric model. Ito. So, ayan. So, however, he did not publish his book until right before he died. Why? So, bakit kaya? So, yan. It went against religious views. Siyempre, ang sinusuportan kasi ng simbahan that time was the medieval, yung kay Ptolemy, na hindi daw nag-move ang Earth. Okay, so, bakit kaya hindi nag-publish ang kanyang aklat? Malalaman natin yan hanggang sa susunod na pagkikita. Paalam!